Okay, are you happy with that?
Yeah, I love it. Really reflects the light.
Okay, as long as you're happy. Good morning, everyone. It's a lovely day. I couldn't be bothered to undo all the rope holding the gates together, so through the barbed wire. So the chateau survived the recent storm, but the tree in the distance didn't. Well, I'm not going to go any further because it's absolutely saturated in this lower level here. We're in our meadow, by the way, in case you haven't worked that one out. And behind me there's a tree which came down in the storm, but it's being held up by this other tree. There's a stream that runs right around here, and that's our border, our boundary. And normally in the summer it dries right out, but it didn't this year. And we've had so much rain in the autumn that the ground is absolutely saturated, and I'm squelching where I'm standing. And yeah, so I'm going to have a word with a friendly farmer, see if he can pull that tree out, and then we can actually process it for wood. Yeah, these big trees behind us, we were convinced they were going to topple as well. They were really swaying. But they've stayed up. But you can see all the mistletoe in there. Everywhere you go in France, you see mistletoe, loads of it. And of course, it is a parasite, actually. So it wouldn't surprise me if these trees went down. But hopefully, if they do, they'll fall on this way, because this is our land. So our trees, our land, our wood. But hopefully they won't. Anyway, apart from that, a couple of little tiles came off, but we came through that unscathed. I was half expecting to come out and see the rest of this down, but no, it didn't. I wouldn't have minded if it had. It would have saved me taking it down. Well, for the sharp-eyed viewers amongst you, you may have noticed there's something missing, and that's my old van. We've got rid of it this week. It wasn't commercially viable to repair it. There's too many things gone wrong. One of them's serious. The manifold was leaking. That's dangerous. Exhaust gases coming into the cab. And it's been sitting here for months. But it served its purpose. It's allowed us to get rid of a lot of the rubbish from here to the dump, the déchetterie. But it's been sitting for about 7 months. It's in the way. And this view that you're now seeing is a view that we've not really filmed very often because the van was always in camera. So you might get to see a bit more of this in future. But anyway, I've had that van 19 years from new, but there comes a time. Sometimes you just got to give up. Well, I thought I'd take 5 minutes. I've got some paint stripper. It's a really good paint stripper that we bought with us from the UK. If we're going to strip these beams, I want to establish what's the best method. So I'm going to try some paint stripper, so I'll leave that for a while, and then I'll go and mix up some bicarb with a bit of bleach, and I'll put that on. I'm not convinced that'll get this stuff off, but you never know. I want to avoid sandblasting because I haven't got the budget for that sort of thing. I don't really want to sand it down. I could seal myself in this room, but that's really quite messy. So I'm going to just do a little bit of a test, see if there's if paint strip or bicarb will do it. Because we really don't like this chocolate brown, really don't. I think the natural wood would be our preferred option rather than painting them. All right, now for the bicarb. Bicarb mixed with a little bit of bleach, made into a paste. And now we wait. Okay, well that's 10 minutes, and I would suggest that the bicarb is having more effect. Well, this is the first time I've got really this close and had a proper look at them, because from ground level and from where the camera is, there looks as though there's some sort of luster or sheen to this finish, but actually close up it doesn't look like that. So we always assumed it was some sort of gloss and therefore it was going to be difficult to remove, but it might not be. Well, I'm going to wait another 10 minutes, and that will be 20 minutes in total, and then that'll give me enough to see which is the better way. And then I think from the kitchen experience downstairs when I was stripping them, if you leave it for an hour, that's great, but if you leave it for a couple of hours, it's even better. So I think if I'm going to strip these using the bicarb, I'll probably do a load and then just do something else for 2 or 3 hours, then come back. But yeah, I'm going to give this 10 minutes, and then I'll try and clean both those off and see where we end up. So the paint stripper's done a great deal. It's removed a little bit. But bicarb, yeah. Right, I'm going to let that dry off overnight. There's some residual water on there. There's nothing coming off from my hand, so whatever's on there I've got off. There's no residual colour. But of course, as it dries, the colour will change, and I'm hoping we'll have it back to its natural colour. It's looking, it almost looks like chestnut, that sort of rich colour that chestnut has. And the reason I've done this side is because I thought, well, if it goes wrong or it doesn't quite work very well, I can go and get some brown stain and I'll go over it rather than, and nobody's going to see it this side. For most of the room, you'll never see it. So as a test piece, I'm quite happy with how that's looking at this stage. And that's just with bicarb, a little bit of bleach and a bit of water. Paint strip, I didn't touch it.
I sanded this down some time ago, probably 2 years ago actually, and I want to put a blind up here, so I thought I'd better get on and Osmo it. And I love the character of these beams because they don't just stop at the end of the window. They've just put a whole piece of wood in there like they've done over the doorway. It just gives it more character. So when I put the blind up, you can still see the end bits. And if my ladies from my painting group in the UK are watching, they'll be laughing because I always used to use a small brush, and they used to say one brush does all. Today it's Lexie's gotcha day. We've had her 5 years now, and she came from, if you've watched our previous videos, a rescue in Cyprus. And she was found on an industrial estate. She'd been dumped, and she was probably about 10 months old then, but there were big lorries coming in and out, and she was barking at them all, which is why I think she barks at anything that moves here, machinery and rolls. But yeah, she's come on leaps and bounds. This place is perfect for Lexie because we could never let her out. She's just too terrified of everything, and she's got loads of room to run around here, and she's really happy.
Right, Susie's nicked the work platform, so I'm on the step ladder. Let's have a look, see what difference a few hours makes. I'm very happy with that. Very happy indeed. And that's dried out, and that's down to the wood. And that is much, much lighter. And that was minimal effort, hardly took any rubbing to get it off. So that I'm very, very happy with. I do hope you like beam stripping videos. I think it's only fair to warn you, there may be a few. Oh, here we go again. And of course, we mustn't forget our Grand Salon. So if the coating on this is the same as the one upstairs, then this is another room to do. So we're not going to run out of content any day soon.
These are the type of jobs I like, the finishing touches, because it just brings it to life. And I love the character of the wood. You can see all the saw marks and even these bits and pieces. So yeah, I'm really happy with that.
Wow, that looks good. Really good.
It's come up nice, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Just brings the wood out.
It does. Beautiful.
Thank you to Vero for the coffee. Really kind of you. And thank you to everyone for all your support, especially our patrons.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Next time, couple of days' time. Yep.
Yeah.
Right,
okay.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Enchanté.